In the misty lowlands of northern Italy, where the Po River winds like a silver thread through fields of green, a boy was born in 1813 who would one day weave the threads of a nation's soul into song. His name was Giuseppe Verdi, and though his beginnings were modest, an innkeeper's son in the tiny village of Roncole, he carried within him a fire that would light up the stages of the world. Picture the young Giuseppe, a lad of just 8, his small fingers dancing across the keys of the church organ, filling the air with melodies that seemed to rise from the earth itself. Music was his companion from the cradle, a gift nurtured by village lessons and the kindness of a local patron, Antonio Barezzi, who saw the spark in those eager eyes. As he grew, Verdi ventured to Busseto for schooling, mastering the humanities and rhetoric while composing marches and sinfonias that echoed in churches and theaters alike. But ambition called him further, to the bustling streets of Milan, where he sought entry to the Grand Conservatory. Alas, they turned him away. Too old, they said, his piano skills too raw. Yet Verdi was not one to bow to rejection. He studied privately with a wise mentor from La Scala, absorbing the secrets of counterpoint and the drama of opera. It was here, amid the city's vibrant pulse, that he began to dream of stages alive with passion and voice. In 1836, love bloomed when he wed Margherita Barezzi, his patron's daughter, a gentle soul who shared his world of notes and harmonies. They welcomed 2 children, Virginia and Itilio, but fate dealt cruel blows. The little one slipped away in infancy, and then Margherita herself, struck down by illness in 1840 at just 26. Imagine the weight of that sorrow, a young composer alone in his grief, vowing to abandon his art forever. His second opera, a comedy called Un giorno di regno, flopped amid his mourning, hissed off the stage. Yet from this darkness came a turning point. Persuaded to try once more, Verdi crafted Nabucco in 1842, a tale of captive Hebrews yearning for freedom. Oh, what a triumph! The chorus Va Pensiero with its haunting plea for a lost homeland stirred hearts across Italy. Audiences rose in applause, seeing in those slaves their own divided land, oppressed by foreign rulers. It was as if Verdi's music had given voice to a silent cry for unity. The years that followed were a whirlwind, what Verdi himself called his galley years, churning out operas at a relentless pace. Ernani in 1844, with its bandits and forbidden loves. Attila in 1846, where the Hun king's downfall mirrored tyrants of the day. Macbeth in 1847, delving into ambition's dark shadows with a gripping, sleepwalking scene that chills the spine. Louisa Miller in 1849 marked a shift more intimate, foreshadowing his genius for human frailty. But it was in the 1850s that Verdi truly soared. Rigoletto, that twisted tale of a jester's curse and a duke's deceit, premiered in 1851, its melodies like La Donna è mobile, catching fire instantly. Then came Il Trovatore in 1853, a whirlwind of gypsy curses and fiery passions, and La Traviata that same year, drawing from real life, a courtesan's doomed love, tender and tragic, challenging society's hypocrisies. Verdi's ideology was woven into every note. A liberal heart, fiercely patriotic, yearning for Italy's unification in the Risorgimento. He was no fiery revolutionary storming barricades, but a pragmatist who backed the king when it promised stability. Anti-clerical, wary of the church's grip, and abhorring war's senseless blood. He channeled these beliefs into his art. In 1848, as revolution swept Europe, Verdi rushed to Milan, declaring that the only music fit for Italians was the music of the canon. His operas became anthems. Crowds chanted Viva Verdi, not just for the man, but as code for Viva Vittorio Emanuele Re d'Italia. Long live the king who might unite them. He even penned a patriotic hymn at the request of Giuseppe Mazzini. And when Italy finally knit together in 1861, Prime Minister Cavour coaxed Verdi into Parliament, where he served 4 quiet years, more symbol than statesman, his true power in the theatre. Amid this, love returned. Giuseppina Streponi, the soprano who had graced his early stages, became his companion from 1848, defying Bussetto's wagging tongues. They wed in 1859 in a simple ceremony, building a life at his Sant'Agata estate, where Verdi tilled the soil like the farmer he always wished to be. Yet music called him back. In 1871, Aida dazzled Cairo with its Egyptian splendor, trumpets blaring, lovers torn between duty and desire, a spectacle of grandeur and intimacy. The Requiem of 1874, honoring poet Alessandro Manzoni, poured out grief in choral waves, blending sacred fire with operatic drama. As years advanced, Verdi's style deepened, like wine maturing in the cask. Early works burst with raw energy and melody, echoing Rossini and Donizetti. But he evolved, drawing subtle influences from Wagner, leitmotifs threading through scores, orchestras not mere accompaniment but partners in storytelling. Voices gained color, revealing souls, the baritones rumble for paternal rage, the sopranos soar for fragile hope. In his 80s, he astonished with Otello in 1887, Shakespeare's jealous Moor brought to life in thunderous jealousy and tender despair. Then Falstaff in 1893, his Farewell, a bubbly comedy of a rotund knight's follies, witty and wise, proving age no barrier to joy. Verdi was more than composer, he was giver. He built a hospital in nearby Villanova and, in Milan, the Casa di Riposo, a haven for retired musicians that stands today. His anti-war stance shone in works like Don Carlos, critiquing empire's cruelty. Though he softened on faith in later years, his humanism endured. Empathy for the downtrodden, a belief in liberty's quiet power. In January 1901, at the grand age of 87, Verdi suffered a stroke in a hotel and Italy seemed to hold its breath. Not figuratively, literally, straw was strewn across the streets to muffle the clamor of hooves and wheels, granting the maestro peace in his final hours. When he passed on the 27th, the nation mourned as one. His funeral became spectacle of sorrow and song, with a crowd of hundreds of thousands, princes and paupers alike, lining the avenues. Grown men wept openly, and spontaneously voices rose in Pensiero, that haunting chorus from Nabucco which had ignited his fame 60 years before and echoed Italy's cry for freedom. What had he wrought? 28 operas, masterpieces that proved popular art could be profoundly deep, where melody and drama danced as allies, speaking to peasants and kings with equal force. His music didn't merely mirror Italy, it helped forge it, giving voice to a fragmented people before they had a unified flag. Today, Verdi's work outshine most, performed more than any composer, save perhaps Mozart's. Their tunes woven into films, adverts, and even football terraces, not for simplicity, but for their raw truth, capturing human passion, dignity, and defiance across eras. Not bad for an innkeeper's son from a speck of a village with scarcely 200 souls. My lovely viewers, this vlog is but a tiny tribute to Verdi, touching on his life triumphs, beliefs, and symphonies. I'm well aware of his deeper struggles and pivotal role in Italy's unification, but delving into every detail would make this far too long. I have kept it concise to honor our time together. Do drop a comment suggesting other composers you'd love to explore. Let's spread our wings and soar into the unknown, because next time we are leaving Italy for Alexandria, where a woman outsmarted men with math and ended up, well, let's just say her story is darker than any Requiem. See you with Hypatia.